His ageless face and luscious eyelashes were the one constant on this mysterious island. Give it up for Nestor Carbonell. And finally, a woman so nice they cast her twice. The patron saint of kick-ass females everywhere. Comic-Con, show your love for Ms. Sarah Michelle Gellar. This isn't your first time here either. What's your favorite part of the Comic-Con experience?
Swag.
Watching other people wearing the blue spandex suit.
Getting to interact with the fans and hearing what they're expecting from this show and from other shows. It's pretty great to talk shop.
So Sarah, you recently told Entertainment Weekly that Ringer encompasses everything you want professionally and personally. Can you talk a little bit about why this was the project to bring you back to TV?
It's really hard when you have a show like Buffy that you love so much and that was so perfect. I agree that you're not looking for a show to top it. You're not looking for a show that's completely different. We wouldn't exist without the fans, and I wanted to come back and do a show that the fans would love, that I would love to watch, and that would be different but still exciting. And to me, Ringer encompasses all those things.
So what was your first thought about the idea of playing twins, and are you getting paid twice as much?
That actually was my first question, and no, I'm not. Which I really should talk to my agents about.
Christopher, please answer the question on the minds of all the men in this room and probably some of the women. What is it like to kiss Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Very soft lips. It was, someone asked me I get paid to go and kiss Sarah Michelle Gellar at work. It's like an amazing job.
So for the producers, in terms of a master plan, how long do you intend to keep the mystery about Siobhan's disappearance going, and have you mapped out a plan beyond season 1?
9 years. Then the triplet shows up. Or a parasitic twin. No, when we had conceived the series, we had 3 seasons percolating, and obviously when you start on a project, things evolve, but we're playing with time and perspective, and that allows us a lot of latitude.
So will Bridget know more about what happened with Siobhan by the end of season 1?
Maybe.
Nestor, what drew you to the role of Victor?
Well, first of all, for me, it's always about the writing that's on the page, and I loved the serialized nature of the show, the thriller element of it, the fact that it's sort of a film noir show. Naturally, that Sarah was attached, and just the writing in general. I love the character's ambiguity, his moral ambiguity. I had a lot of fun playing with that on Lost, and this character's no exception.
How did your role as iconic crime fighter Batman on The Tick prepare?
Well, as Victor Machado, I also get to wear a codpiece, which is always fun to come to That being ageless, yeah.
So no costumes in Victor's future?
I'm so sorry, what was it?
No costumes in Victor's future?
I don't know, I'm hoping things change, maybe season 2.
All right.
I know there'll be costumes in everyone's future.
So, Sarah, obviously you're best known for your iconic role of Kendall Hart on All My Children. And of course, you played the beloved Buffy Summers for many years. From an acting perspective, how would you compare the experience of playing Buffy to playing the characters on Ringer?
I mean, I think that as an actor, you go in and you just want to make your character believable, and you want the audience to follow the story and enjoy it. So I think you hopefully approach all the characters the same way. And I'm just doing it at the same time as opposed to doing it, you know, at a different time. And Bridget's story is a story of redemption, which I think is something that everybody can understand and relate to. And Siobhan's story is a story of revenge, which I think a lot of us think about, often maybe.
Care to name names?
Yeah. No. And as long as that's in the back of your mind, I think you can make two really compelling characters at the same time.
Siobhan definitely has better clothes, but who do you prefer playing, Siobhan or Bridget?
I don't. It's like, it would be like picking children. You know, I wouldn't be able to give to them equally if I ever made that decision. Some of Bridget's clothing can be kind of fun too, so just wait, you'll see. Bridget gets some good outfits too.
For the producers, can you talk a little bit more about storytelling structure? Are we, as the show goes forward, will viewers see equal amounts of Bridget and Siobhan, or will we learn about Siobhan through Bridget's story?
You know, for the first season, we're focusing heavily on Bridget's story, but as Eric said, since we're playing with time and perspective, we're going to have flashbacks, and we're going to see Bridget and Siobhan together, we're going to see Siobhan internationally, and then really focus on Bridget's world on the Upper East Side.
And so will Siobhan get her own set of supporting characters?
She will, yes.
And you're often cast in good guy roles. In this case, would you say Andrew is a villain, just misunderstood, or somewhere in the middle?
I think he's misunderstood. I think Andrew's, I think his relationship with Siobhan, well, the state of the relationship as we see in the pilot, is devastating him. I think he really wants the old Siobhan back, and he's seeing a glimpse of that. Of course, we as the audience know it's Bridget as Siobhan. But I think ultimately he's devastated with the relationship that he has with his daughter, and that she's being very rebellious. I think he's a guy that obsesses about the importance of the family, and I think that's given him the springboard to great success in his business. So I think at the moment he's very much misunderstood.
He seems to harbor some serious and possibly homicidal resentment toward his wife, Siobhan. How much do you know about his backstory, and what do you hope will happen with that?
Did you read that into it, did you? I didn't read that into it. No, I think it comes from the fact that whatever's happened in the past, that their relationship has soured, and I think he's trying to piece it back together. If you've already read that, that's fantastic. That will give us scope to possibly go down a sort of a different journey. But I think at the moment he's somebody who's just desperately holding on to the semblance of what was a beautiful marriage.
Christopher, while Henry is a philanderer, he also really does seem to care about Siobhan. What can you tell us about that relationship?
He's a philanderer. I think that you know where we sort of find Henry in his world bringer is that he is married, he's got his own set of twins, but from what I understand, from the conversations I've had with the creators of the show, that Henry really does love Siobhan, so it's a genuine, true love. So while he's sort of being unfaithful to one person, his truth and his true heart is to this other woman, so he just happens to be in the wrong marriage. So I think, you know, I think there was one thing happening and then someone else showed up and now there's a whole other thing.
The pilot sort of sets Siobhan up as being maybe not the nicest person in the world. What do you think Henry sees in her?
Well, see, I think that's it. I think that Siobhan is one very guarded and shows Henry a different side of herself. And Henry is, you know, he's a writer, he's unsuccessful at this point, and probably feels belittled by his society, his wife, and Siobhan builds him up and makes him feel, you know, like a man. So I think they bring something out of each other that's really great, which is why it's so interesting in the pilot when you see things sort of unfold in the way that it does. You guys get it? It's great.
Nestor, it seems like everyone on the show has something to hide. Might we learn something surprising about Victor? Perhaps a secret eyeliner fetish?
I think his office is in a hatch. I have no idea. I think we're going to find out. I mean, all I've been told is that I think all of our characters have some kind of, we're fueled by some kind of blind ambition, and that we're all sort of morally, potentially ambiguous. And I think I'm starting to see flavors of that just in the dialogue already. We're only in episode 2, but
Day 2 of episode 2.
yeah, but it's tight. It's really well written. You know, credit to our incredible writer and all of them. It's really hard to pull off a serialized thriller, and they're starting off in a great way.
Sarah, the one problem I see with the show is that there aren't enough hot guys on it.
I know. We're missing Mike Coulter today because he was the one that is working today because we couldn't bring everybody. So.
Were you, as executive producer, responsible for this lineup of hot guys?
Yes. And I hope that each one of my characters has some sort of backstory with all of the characters.
Did you have to take off your shirts, guys, on the panel?
Take them off.
Sarah, any chance that you could add to the hotness quotient of the show and invite your husband to guest star?
That's our new pitch, is we're going to have my husband come on, and he's going to be in a love triangle with Julianne, Kristen's wife, and with Alice, Johan's wife. And we'll just that'll be season 3.
Sounds good. For the producers, Ringer was originally developed for CBS. Can you talk a little bit about how it transitioned to the CW?
Sure. Yes, we developed it for CBS, and then we had the great pleasure of being picked up and moved to the CW, and they embraced what the show was. We have a beautiful cast, smart, talented, the story's intriguing, they embraced the serialized aspect of the show, and I think the biggest difference is that we'll just add a lot more youthful hip music and get some nice songs to promote it. And it was a good transition, it really was. It wasn't such a difficult transition because I come from a CBS show that's procedural and that's what CBS is known for. But now I get to write this great serialized, thriller, and it works really well on CW.
And Sarah, how did you feel about the move? Did it feel a little bit like a homecoming of sorts?
Oh my God, for sure. Well, first of all, I'm like, yes, I'm getting better clothing. That was like my first thought. I'm a girl, what can I say? That's where my mind goes. There's so many of the same people that are there, and my experience over there was so incredible and so incredibly supportive, and I think we have a little more freedom at the CW. I think we can explore what the show is about in a different way. I think you can take more risks on the CW. I think we all know who CBS's audience is, and their shows are fabulous, and they're made for that audience, where because CW is still finding themselves, it gives us that opportunity to find ourselves as well.